has gone up, which might inevitably lead to price increase at the pump. But this cannot happen before the negotiations with labor and all stakeholders has been concluded.
Minister of Petroleum denies increase in pump price of petrol, asks marketers to maintain status quo.
Some of the students that were rescued sustained injuries.
Troops rescue 180 abducted students, staff of Federal College of Forestry, Afaka, Kaduna State.
Court processes were filed by people, inclusive of the Delta State government, while they disown the money.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice clears air on Ibori Luth disbursement. And truck drivers' protest at Obajana leaves long hours of gridlock on Abuja-Lokoja highway. A very good evening to you and welcome to NTA Network News. We are reaching you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Juma Yusuf. Dotun Ogunyame is reading from Lagos. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, government late last night stormed the Federal College of Forestry Mechanization, Afaka Igabi, local government area of Kaduna State, abducting students and staff of the college. By this morning, 180 students have been rescued by troops, while a total of 30 students are yet to be accounted for after abduction. Correspondent Achari Maxwell has the situation report.
The armed bandits in their large number attacked the institution around 11:30 p.m. Thursday and kidnapped several students and staff. They broke into the institution by breaching a perimeter fence and then encroached about 600 meters to attack the first facility.
Right inside there, we were able to go to see where the bandits, tried to defense. They break the fence, they penetrate into, and they took some of the students that are there in the hostels, and some of the female students, they took them away.
And they said some are one Divabi garrison. So I checked my daughter there, she's not among them. So I don't know where she is for now.
I will pray that they will find where those children are, and they will bring these children back. Military and other security agencies are working around the clock. Some of the students that were rescued sustained injuries, just bruises within the school environment. They are presently receiving medical attention at a military facility.
Troops of the Nigerian army immediately moved to the school and engaged the bandits accordingly. Out of the 180 successfully rescued, 42 are females, 8 staff, and 130 male students, as 30 students across gender are yet to be accounted for. Meanwhile, reactions have been pouring from family members and the affected students. Governor Nasir Ahmed El-Rufai commended troops for rescue efforts as combined team of security were conducting operations to track the missing students in Kaduna. Achari Maxwell, NTA News.
And now to get the latest on the College of Forestry abduction, let's join Abdullahi Suleiman Rigachku. He's live in Kaduna for a possible update on the kidnap. Abdullahi, any development so far, on the rescue operation by the military?
Well, the latest development as regards the rescue operations is a release by Kaduna State government confirming that 39 students are missing instead of 30 that was earlier announced to the public. And out of these 39 students that have now been confirmed to be missing out from this incident, 23 are female students while 13 are male. So this is also falsifying, reports by some sections of media that is only female students that were kidnapped earlier, and that since early morning when the news of the kidnap breaks, the situation has been that of success and trial. Success in the rescue of about 180, kidnapped persons including 42 female students and 130 male and staff of the college also. And trial, the military and the police and other security agencies are on top of the situation. Right now, they are in the bush, tracking the abducted 39 students who are still in the captivity of the kidnappers.
Okay, Abdullahi, we've seen some visuals of, people out there, it's so heartbreaking to see what happened this morning as we woke up to this shocking news. Can you tell us, has there been any contact with parents of these students so far?
Well, actually, this in conjunction with these students and their whereabouts. And of course, this is an institution, a monotechnic, that most of the students here are matured students. It's not like secondary school. So school management are in, good understanding, good collaboration, trying to find out the truth about the figure and also the contact of the students. And that is just it by now.
Okay, thank you so much, Abdullahi Ugachku, for your update on the abduction of the students at the Forestry College. Thank you so much. Well, in the meantime, the Director General of the Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, Professor Adedeji Adepoju, in reaction to the incident, said efforts are on to ensure that the college is better secured against external aggression. Forestry Research Institute supervises the Federal Forestry College, Afaka, Kaduna State.
Earlier on, we were thinking it's about 30, but from our own record now, 23 girls are missing and 14 boys.
So what is the security situation in the college?
The security situation is calm because there is deployment of security operatives on the ground. And all of us are on transit. I'm also on my way now to Kaduna to meet with the stakeholders, and we'll see a way forward to securing the college. And also it's an opportunity for us to reiterate the issue of return of the forest guard, who are more or less good informant about the happenings in the forest, though they wouldn't be able to confront the bandits, but they are good at information gathering and alerting the communities on time of any danger ahead of time.
So what is being done to prevent future occurrence?
Is to first do the assessment and do the stakeholder meeting and see whether the place will remain secured and the security will be able to cordon off the threat of that place, because we're in the forest and that's our job, to plant more and to establish more forests. So we can't remove the forest cover we have, and which is what they've been using as their haven to perpetrate all these evil acts. So we'll still look into it and meet with stakeholders and see how best we can secure that place for academic and student activities.
That is the reaction of the Director General of the Forestry Research Institute of Nigeria, Professor Adedeji Adepoju. Well, the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Journalists has tasked government at all levels and security agencies on securing schools and deployment of security personnel to safeguard the lives of students and learning environments across the country. In a statement by the National President, Ladi Bala, NAWOJ underscores the imperative of proactive actions at fencing of schools in Nigeria, particularly in the north, which is currently under attack by criminals, to rescue the education sector from imminent threat. The President appealed to government not to allow criminals hold education to ransom by negotiating with abductors. In another development, the Office of the National Security Advisor has debunked media reports alleging misappropriation of funds meant for armed forces equipment. A statement from the Office of the NSA says the National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Mongono, was quoted out of context as he did not categorically say that funds meant for arms procurement were missing under the former service chiefs as reported or transcribed by some media outfits. General Mogano made it clear that President Muhammadu Buhari has approved enormous resources for arms procurement but were either inadequate or yet to be delivered, which did not imply that the funds were misappropriated under the former service chiefs. Now, the newly appointed service chiefs have visited 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Enugu, in continuation of the official visit to military formation across the country. Mina Ukwabasi reports that the team was led by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Loki Rabo.
Arriving the 82nd Division Nigerian Army Enugu State in company of Chief of Army Staff General Ibrahim Atahiru, Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral A.Z. Gambo, and Chief of Air Staff Air Vice Marshal I.O. Amao. The Chief of Defense Staff General Leo Irabo's first assignment was inspection of the quarter guard.
May I have your permission to dismiss the guard into the guard room, sir?
Thereafter, the august visitors were received by the Nigerian Army officers' wives before proceeding for a closed-door meeting with top military officers of the 82nd Division. Addressing the 260 combined soldiers, comprising soldiers of 82nd Division, airmen and airwomen of Ground Training Command of the Nigerian Air Force, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Leo Irabo, praised the men for their resilience, passion, and patience in the face of daunting circumstances and urged them to do more.
But I also believe that as we leave, the General Staff Commanding as well as the Air Officer Commanding and the various brigade commanders will be speaking with you to let you know the details of what you have told them so that you take flight with those instructions.
A team of the highest-ranking military officers moved to the Government House, Enugu, on a courtesy visit and security summit, were received by the Deputy Governor, Cecilia Ezilo. In Enugu, Mina Adobio Kobasi, NTA News.
Now let's bring you up to speed with other news, as governors of the People's Democratic Party have resolved to work with the federal government in its effort at restoring peace to the troubled areas of the country. This was the thrust of their meeting held in Abuja. Timothy Yusuf reports.
It is the first physical meeting of the PDP Governors Forum in the new normal with strict adherence to the COVID-19 protocols. Although held behind closed door, the governors under the chairmanship of Governor Aminu Waziri Tambuwal of Sokoto State were joined by the National Working Committee of the party as well as members of the Senator Bukola Saraki-led National Reconciliation and Strategy Committee. Security, economy and issues bordering on moving the party forward topped the meeting agenda.
We must not play politics with security, and we must all work together to ensure that we bring back peace in our land. So we have agreed to continue to work with the federal government in that regard.
And from time to time, we will meet regularly to brief them so that where we need them to intervene, they will intervene. It's a very, very good meeting. Very, very good meeting.
Governor Tambuwal says they remain intact with none out of the 15 of them contemplating leaving the PDP. The party's board of trustees earlier met in Abuja, where members restated commitment to playing the role of the board as the conscience of the party. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has warned that the state will not fold its arms watching criminal elements hold law-abiding citizens in the state to ransom. The governor handed down the warning when he led a delegation of government officials on a condolence visit to some communities in Ngaski local government area of the state where 6 Fulanis were allegedly killed by a local security outfit in the area. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
Believed to be members of the local security outfit known as Ensake allegedly invaded some settlement few days ago, killing 6 persons and injured 2 others. The Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu vowed that government will apply appropriate provision of the law on the alleged murder of 6 Fulani tribesmen at Runtuan Wakili Ladan village in Ngaski local government area. The governor, who was on sympathy mission and peace advocacy, commended security agencies for prompt action to bring the situation under control.
Ba za mu saka ma kowa hakki ne ba, za mu bi amma duk hakkin da zamu bi sai an ƙara da haƙuri saboda komi an kai ba mu iya dawowa da ran da aka yi hasara.
The chairman in Gaski local government area, Alhaji Buhari Abdullahi, and some leaders in the area promised total support with the government to put an end to the ugly development. The national president of Miyetti Allah Cattle Breeders Association, Muhammadu Kirua, who accompanied the governor, cautioned Fulanis against embarking on reprisal attacks, saying that such measure can throw issues whose implication may be costly for the society to bear. He urged them to allow the law takes its course. Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has tasked Nigerians to think of embracing global best practices in all endeavors in order to surmount the challenges of poverty and insecurity. The Vice President, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, stated this at the pre-convocation lecture of Sokoto State University. Dalhatu Abdullahi has the details.
The topic of the first, second, and third combined pre-convocation lecture is Nigeria, some defining issues for the future, and was critically x-rayed by the guest lecturer, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo. Population growth, according to him, should be a determining factor in the provision of basic necessities of life, adding that future of Nigerians largely depends on the ability to accommodate one another through national unity, while stating that the old system of the nation's security is no longer relevant. The Vice President stressed the need for viable means of addressing insecurity in the country. Part of the measures is the decentralization of the policing system, which has become a general consensus, the matter of which is currently before the National Assembly.
The difference between failure and success is usually planning and preparation. It is our duty as policymakers and that of the academic community to think, to innovate, and to find answers to the difficult questions along the development journey.
Governor Aminu Waziri Tambol extolled the Vice President's presentation, which is guiding on the fundamental issues affecting the country. He also called on the nation's universities to align their studies on the existing realities across the nation. The Vice President later inspected some projects being executed by the state government, which include the ultra-modern diagnostic medical center, remodeled State High Court of Justice, and the ongoing university teaching hospital.
So I'm extremely impressed, even the quality of the building itself, the quality of the infrastructure itself, and all of the equipment in it.
The Vice President also visited the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar, at the palace. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
Minister of State for Petroleum Resources Timi Silva has denied any purported increase in the pump price of petrol. He cleared the air on the purported increase while speaking to newsmen in Lagos. Adeni Taiwo has a report.
Many Nigerians woke up to the disturbing news that there is an upward review in the pump price of petrol. The purported increase, announced by the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, placed the new regime between 209 Naira 61 Kobo and 212 Naira 61 Kobo price band. Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Timi Silva, said neither the President, as the substantive Minister of Petroleum Resources, nor himself approved any upward review in the pump price of petrol, while stating that the federal government is not going back on full deregulation of the downstream oil sector. The minister said any change in pump price would only be decided after due consultation with all stakeholders.
The price of crude oil has gone up, which might inevitably lead to price increase at the pump, but this cannot happen before the negotiations with labor and all stakeholders has been concluded.
He therefore called on fuel marketers to maintain status quo and refrain from hoarding or creating artificial scarcity of the product. Meanwhile, despite his warning, there were long queues of vehicles at fuel service stations across Lagos metropolis, spurred by the purported price hike in Lagos. Adini Taiwo, NTA News.
Similarly, the Petroleum Product Pricing Regulatory Agency PPPRA, in reaction to the alleged increase in the pump price of petrol authorized by each, says the information is false and misleading. A statement by the agency's Executive Secretary Abdul Kadir Saidu emphatically stressed that even though the guiding prices posted on its website was a reflection of an upward price trend following current market fundamentals, it is not a categorical statement of an increase in the pump price of petrol. In carrying out its mandate of monitoring and keeping the downstream subsector vibrant, the PPPRA assures the public that there is adequate product supply of more than 35 days sufficiency and no need for anxiety and panic buying of petrol. Now, despite assurances from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation that the corporation was not contemplating any rise in the ex-depot price of petrol in March, not to jeopardize ongoing engagement with organized labor and other stakeholders, an acceptable framework that will not expose the ordinary Nigerian to any hardship. The recurring speculations on increased petroleum pump prices becoming one too many, with motorists at the receiving end. Lydia Sampson has a situation report.
The situation around petrol pump price motorist is creating uncertainty in the petroleum downstream sector. A visit to petrol stations in the FCT shows another phase of panic buying, with stations in the city center still selling within the price band. However, with queues building up.
No, we are not increasing for now. We are selling 165 per litre now.
Right now, you can see the price is 165 naira per litre. And in most places that I've heard as well, it's still maintaining the same reduced price, not the new price. So there's no need for panic, really.
So the public need reassurance about the possibility and availability of fuel so that people can move into the filling station and buy fuel.
The situation is, however, completely different from what we found in most petrol stations in the Gwarimpa area of Abuja.
Government did not increase fuel price. I have not seen it on the news that they increased fuel price. So I don't know why the meter is going up and down. When I came, I saw 170, now I'm seeing 165, so I don't know what is happening. You understand? Maybe the meter is doing magic. Government should put her into this market.
I bought it 200 naira now. Inside the filling station.
This Oando?
Yes, this Oando here.
Where is this area?
This is Gwarimpa, I think, 3rd Avenue, I guess. Make me feel bad because I woke up this morning only to discover that there's no fuel. What's the reason for the queue? No one can explain. I don't understand.
All efforts to get a confirmation or a denial from the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency, PPPRA, proved abortive. For now, however, we are told that the ex-depot price remained the same without any increase.
NNPC stands by that statement that we are not increasing the ex-depot price in the month of March. And that is still the position of things. It has not changed.
At the time of filing in this report, NTA News gathered that the PPPRA has since deleted the template announcing the alleged increase in pump price from his website. We also ran into a theme from the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, inspecting stations to ensure compliance with the actual running price band of 161 naira to 166 naira per litre. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Thank you, Lydia, for that update. We'll pause for some messages. The news continues shortly. Do stay.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN hash. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 1.
Thanks for joining us. Now, we told you earlier about insinuation about arms purchase. The presidency has also set the record straight, saying that Nigeria has acquired new military equipment from both the United States and Russia during the tenure of the former service chiefs. It says in January 2017, Nigeria took delivery of 2 Russian Mi-35 attack helicopters out of 12 ordered by Nigeria during the tenure of the former service chiefs. Also in 2017, the U.S. State Department has approved a $593 million foreign military sale to Nigeria, including 12 A-21 Super Tucano light attack aircraft, in order to further the nation's campaign against the militant group Boko Haram. The Army Army also acquired new equipment including armored personnel carriers, APCs, artillery pieces, armored tanks, and anti-mine heavy military equipment. Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, explains that it is important to set the record straight because failure to do so is capable of misleading the public. And the federal government has said the circumstances leading to its taking possession of the £4.2 million Ibori loot was determined by international law and not by any local variable. Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malami disclosed this to our correspondent Femi Okoyewu in an exclusive interview. The report.
Thank you very much, everybody.
Since Tuesday, when the Nigerian government signed an agreement with the United Kingdom for the return of £4.2 million illicit funds recovered from the former Delta State Governor James Ibori, members of his family and friends, suggestions have come from some people that the money be returned to the Delta State government instead of being expended on some federal projects as stated in the bilateral agreement. But Justice Minister told NTA News that possession of the loot cannot be as simplistic as the claimants want to make it now, when records of proceedings in the British court leading to the seizure showed that the Delta State government at that time denied the loss of any funds.
It's not an exclusive function of the laws applicable in Nigeria, but it is a collection of those consideration, local and foreign law. So in essence, before now, when in fact the case was being prosecuted against Ibori in UK, papers were filed, court processes were filed by people inclusive of the Delta State government where they disown the money. And eventually there was conviction. And then Nigeria as a nation, and not Delta State as subnational, was now adjudged to be a victim of crime. Delta State government filed in court processes denying that any money was lost from the state corpus. So in effect, arising from that after conviction, Nigeria being a victim of crime, and not Delta State for that matter, came to roundtable discussions and negotiations with UK as to the application of the money, and it was agreed that yes, we are returning this money. Yes, Nigeria is agreed to be a victim of crime against the background of denial by Delta State government, among others, and then yet this money should be applied for the benefit of Nigerians, Nigeria being the victim of crime.
The agreement is to the effect that the money is to be repatriated to Nigeria within 2 weeks of the signing of the agreement. In Abuja, Femi Okoyewu, NTA News.
Still talking judiciary, the Supreme Court has affirmed the conviction of former Governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dare, upon which he was jailed for 14 years. The Apex Court, however, squashed the criminal misappropriation of public funds, which earned him a jail term of 2 years. Judiciary correspondent Vera Chimuba reports.
The Court of Appeal had in 2018 convicted and sentenced the former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dare, for 10 years for diverting 1.162 billion naira. He was charged for criminal breach of trust and misappropriation of public funds. Not satisfied with the decision of the lower court, he brought this appeal, praying the Apex Court to upturn his conviction. Delivering the judgment in an appeal filed by the former governor of Plateau State, Joshua Dare, Justice Helen Ogunmeju held that the Court of Appeal and the FCT High Courts were right in their concurrent findings on the criminal breach of trust filed against the governor. Justice Ogunmeju, in a unanimous judgment prepared by Justice Ejembieko, which she read, however disagreed with the two lower courts on misappropriation of public funds and subsequently quashed the charge. The misappropriation of public funds brought against Dare under Section 309 of the Penal Code carries a maximum of 2 years imprisonment.
The offense of criminal breach of trust has been proven. He will serve the sentence for criminal breach of trust, which is 10 years.
The appeal court had, however, faulted the trial court for convicting Dare on counts 12 and 23, which it said the prosecution did not prove. It also faulted the trial court for imposing the maximum sentences on both offenses of criminal breach of trust and criminal misappropriation. In Abuja, Viera Chumuba, NTA News.
To other matters now, the cleanup of Ogoni land has been a major project for successive administrations in Nigeria. The present administration has, however, has given a new lease of life to the people through the implementation of the cleanup with the inauguration of a new governing council and board of trustees for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project. HIREP on again 5-phase reports.
Flag off of the Ogoni cleanup exercise in June 2016 marked the commencement of the long journey to the restoration of hydrocarbon pollution impacted communities in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria, as recommended in the UNEP report on Ogoni land. So far, out of the 21 contracts awarded in the first phase of remediation works, 15 lots have been completed and certified, while work is ongoing in other sites. For improved performance, the federal government inaugurated a new governing council and board of trustees for the hydrocarbon pollution remediation project, HIPREP.
You will be required to promote transparency, propriety, and integrity in the operation of HIPREP to ensure optimal and satisfactory delivery of the required services.
This is a new dawn and a refreshing era of elevated federal government presence in Ogoni land with lasting positive impact on the living conditions of the good people of Ogoni land.
It's a clear indication of the resolve of the federal government to allow our people own the entire process of the cleanup. We have never had it so good. Thank you, Mr. President.
The Federal Executive Council, early March 2021, approved contracts for 6 water supply schemes at a total cost of 6.05 billion naira to provide potable water for communities impacted by the pollution. In Abuja, on NTA, Fine Face, NTA News.
The Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shaib, says the agency is aware of precautionary concerns being raised regarding one specific batch of the AstraZeneca vaccine, ABV 5300. In a statement, Dr. Shaib says investigations are being conducted to determine if the batch is in any way linked to an observed side effect, but clearly states that Nigeria did not receive any doses from the batch of vaccines of which concerns are being raised. The statement also says all side effects reported by those who have been administered the vaccines have been mild. It satisfied clinical evidence indicating the Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine to be safe and effective. The MPHCDA CEO also says the assessment is in line with countries such as Spain and the UK, who have indicated that they will continue to administer the vaccine because it remains an important tool to protect citizens against COVID-19. He says developments regarding ABV 5300 batch are being monitored and will share further information as it becomes available, while encouraging Nigerians to prioritize in the current phase to take the vaccine. He said developments regarding ABV 300 batch are being monitored and will share further information as it becomes available, while encouraging Nigerians to prioritize in the current phase to take the vaccine. The virus came with devastating consequences which ravaging impacts clotted the waves of global economy and silenced the vibes of social interactions for about a year. And it is still so challenging. Key players on discovery of permanent cure. In the meantime, temporal solutions are being preferred to shut the door of widespread infections and fatalities from the coronavirus pandemic. In this report, Abubakar Usman Akwangari examines the integrity of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine and the way forward.
These aircraft carrying 4 million doses of AstraZeneca Oxford vaccine touches down Nigerian soil in the early hours of Tuesday last week, to the delight of many who acknowledge government's commitment to fully contain spread of the pandemic.
These vaccines are safe, they are very effective and efficacious, and that I would urge at the time of vaccination and deployment, if you fall into the category that will be vaccinated, make yourself available.
As first world approved pharmaceutical measure since the outbreak of the pandemic, stakeholders have been speaking on the integrity of the vaccine and other forms of infection prevention control measures.
So many people who are schooled, who are educated, are telling they want to kill us with vaccine. I just laugh. They want to kill you and they have not killed you since.
From all indications, quality, safety, efficacy, the benefits outweigh side effects.
We have to sustain the rest of the response. We have to continue our surveillance, our lab, infection prevention and control, because we understand that it will take time to get all Nigerians vaccinated.
As Nigeria intensifies research to develop domestic vaccines with clinical evaluation and medical approval, the collective take of stakeholders on the vaccine is to leave any room for doubt on its safety and efficacy. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Let's now join Dotun in Lagos for more on NTA Network News. Hello, Dotun.
Jumai. The Lagos State government has commenced administration of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine, with priority given to frontline health workers across all medical facilities in the state. Musa Toliad reports that the State Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, was the first to get a shot of the vaccine before Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu and his deputy took turn to get vaccinated.
The vaccination of the Deputy Incident Commander and Commissioner for Health, Professor Akin Abayomi, puts an end to days of anticipation for the rollout of COVID-19 vaccine. Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, having received his jab, called on Lagosians to shun speculations making the rounds that the vaccine is unsafe for public consumption.
Just want to assure all of our citizens, that we think this is the best thing for ourselves, for our nation, right? And we just want to encourage every of our workers, that will be called upon, especially the front-line health workers, to come forward, and get their vaccination, so that we can put this behind us very, very soon.
We've done our audit of those that qualify within the categories that I've described. And we believe that there is more than enough to go around to completely satisfy this category. And that may allow us to start to extend some of the vaccines to other vulnerable people within the community before we even start to receive the next consignment.
The vaccination program was witnessed by international organizations, including representatives of the World Health Organization, the UNICEF, and the Rotary International.
Make sure that we vaccinate as many persons as possible.
We've been supporting the cold chain to ensure the vaccine efficacies.
88 centers have been mapped out for the administration of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine across local governments in the state. Lagos State government says a portal will be launched by Monday next week to get residents registered for the COVID-19 vaccination. In Lagos, Musa Toliad, NTA News.
Promoting gender equality in the Nigerian labor market could raise the nation's GDP by 1.25%. This was made known by the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, Olukayode Ekpiton, during a webinar organized by the bank to commemorate International Women's Day. Hinginu John Adams reports.
I thank Mr. Olukayode Ekpiton, the Managing Director of the Bank of Industry, for setting a high standard for the bank. I am looking forward to one day continuing the great work he has begun.
With the platform provided by the Bank of Industry through its Gender Business Desk, which caters to female entrepreneurs, Shamila Orelanre can achieve her dream. The Bank of Industry has been providing financial assistance to micro, small, and medium enterprises with female beneficiaries included in its innovative financial solutions through single-digit interest.
We started cultivating or looking to the Bank of Industry for funding. It was easier than I expected.
The bank has dedicated this year's International Women's Day celebration to strategizing towards improving women's economic prowess.
BOI is currently collaborating with the AFDB on the launch and implementation of the $300 million AFAWA Fund, an initiative that is expected to unlock about $3 billion in private sector financing to empower female entrepreneurs through capacity building development.
These efforts are also reflected in Nigeria's national gender policy, which focuses on women empowerment, while also making a commitment to eliminate discriminatory practices.
Involving women as part of the solution for economic resilience beyond the pandemic is smart business, because women are good business.
So far, the bank has successfully disbursed about 100 billion naira to over 1,500 enterprises headed by women. As the Bank of Industry continues to roll out such stimulus packages, more girls like Shemilore will have economic leverage in the future. In Lagos, Hingino John Adams, NTA News.
And we're not done from here, as Abolade Salami is standing by with some business news updates.
Good evening and welcome to the business news segment. Minister of State Petroleum Resources Timothy Silva has cautioned petrol marketers to maintain status quo, as there are no imminent plans to increase pump price of petrol.
Neither Mr. President, who is the Minister of Petroleum Resources, nor myself, who deputize for him as Minister of State, has approved that the pump price of petrol be increased by 1 naira. I would therefore urge you to disregard this misleading information.
He assured stakeholders of wide consultations if such move will be taken. Experts have urged the federal government to focus on raising bonds from the capital markets as a means to financing revenue-generating projects while working to reduce balance sheet borrowing. This, among others, were part of the resolutions reached at the Securities and Exchange Commission's yearly budget seminar with the theme, Financing Nigeria's Budget and Infrastructure Deficit Through the Capital Markets. Past experiences have shown that the Nigerian capital markets have been quite supportive in providing the necessary funds needed to finance government needs, adding that it serves as an important channel through which government budget deficits and economic infrastructure deficits can be financed.
With government budget deficits and the economic infrastructure deficits can be financed, and government is committed to introducing more of these instruments in partnership with the capital market to finance projects for economic growth.
And also the capital market. Trading of stocks ended in the red as the market dipped by 0.13%. Details in this report.
Equities markets depreciated by 0.13% to close the all-share index at 38,648 basis points, with a volume of shares traded at 293 million, valued at 3.76 billion naira, which exchanged hands in 3,760 deals, with a market capitalization of 20.2 trillion naira. Regalins, flour mills, and NEM appreciated in figures by 10%, 10%, and 9.73%, while Unity Bank, Afro Insurance, and Sovereign Insurance declined in figures by 9.59%, 9.09%, and 7.69%. On the activity chart, NSE Consumer Goods and Insurance posted gains, appreciating by 1.03% and 1.32%, while NSE Banking, Industrial, and Oil and Gas depreciated by 0.09%, 0.01%, and 0.23%.
Business News, Juma in Abuja will be back with the rest of the news. Good evening.
You're welcome back. We take a break now. When we return, more reports. Don't go away. Thanks for joining us. This is NTA Network News. Now, commercial truck operators attached to a popular cement factory at Abuja, Kogi State have appealed to the management of the company to provide the platform for a quick resolution of the operational dispute hampering their activities. Correspondent Solomon Ayedehin was at Abuja to find out the cause of the disagreement.
The scene at the site of the factory at Abuja was that of frustration, anger, and disappointment as truck drivers in their numbers lamented what they described as disincentive for their business. Operators of the commercial trucks constitute close to 30% of the distribution network of the cement company, more than 16 years now.
We've been here for 16 years and we thank God because this business, that's how we feed our family, this is how we sponsor our children to school. We have a cordial relation until now.
Our trucks have been impounded without load and we don't know the reason. If the company have any issue or have any problem, they have to let us know.
The cordial business relations between the cement company and the commercial truck operators had become sour in the last few days due to a newly introduced operational policy of no tracker on trucks, no loading of goods, which has grounded the activities of the commercial truck operators working with the company.
I bought this ATC 1,685,000. This is self-collection. And the meaning of self-collection is you pay, you collect, you give it to your truck to go and load. I was not told the day I bought this ATC that if my truck did not have tracker, that my truck should not come inside and load. This truck belongs to what? Us. Some of these trucks are higher trucks. If you are putting a device on the truck, it must be a truck lifting your own company goods to your own depot. No trucks that are lifting self-collection.
The commercial truck operators, while hoping for an amicable resolution of the matter, promised to engage the management on the issue peacefully.
Behind me is the office where the self-collection receipt is being printed for customers in Abuja Cement Factory. All efforts to get the management on interview proved abortive. From Abuja in Kogi State, I am Solomon Ayedehin, NTA News.
Thank you, Solomon. President Muhammadu Buhari has applauded the election of the President Nigeria Football Federation, Dr. Amaju Pinnick, into the FIFA Executive Council as a well-deserved achievement. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, President Buhari described Mr. Amaju's victory into the sporting higher body to hard work, dedication, consistency and efficiency, as well as commitment to service. President Buhari advises Mr. Pinnick to see his new assignment as an opportunity to enhance Nigeria's reputation as